In this video, I'm going to talk about creating an algorithm called doubleX, which takes an input str, which is a string. Now, what exactly the algorithm does is that it checks to see if there is an occurrence of character X, there has to be another X immediately after that. So if this case is true, then it has to return true, otherwise return false. For instance, in this case, this X is followed right after that there is an X, so it returns true. But here, the character after X is A, so this is not okay. Then after this one is A, again it's not okay, and after this one there is no character, so it returns false. In this case, there is no X, so automatically it returns true. Remember, it has to return true if there is an X, then the next character has to be X. If there is no X, automatically it has to return true. So let's see how we are going to solve the problem. First of all, since I have to check every character one by one, I need a loop. That's a given. So to write the algorithm, we start with, as usual, with the start. Then we know automatically str is going to have our string, and we have to go through a loop, so we need an index. So I'm going to say index is the first character 1. Now, the only problem we have is when there is no x's. When there is no x's, still we have to return true. So somehow we have to check if there is any x seen when we are going character by character. So let's introduce another variable. Let's call it found. Found is a Boolean variable which is going to be true if x is found, and it's false if there is no x. So initially I'm going to set found to be false. Now you will see why I have this Boolean variable. So I'm going to start my loop with an if, which says if index is less than or equal to length of str, then I'm going to write end if just to make sure that end if is already there. Now I'm going to go inside the loop, and I'm going to check to see what is the character. So I'm going to say if char of str and index, meaning the character at the index position, is equal to x, then again end if. Now I'm going to set found to be true. This means that I have found an x in the string. This is very important because even if there is no x in the string like ABC, still I have to return true. So somehow I have to make sure that I have or I haven't seen x. So I say found is equal to true. Now I'm going to check the next character. I'm going to say if character of str at the next position, meaning index plus 1, is also x, then as you know, I have to return true, because two characters right after each other are x, so I return true. If the next character is not true, then I go to the next character to check. So this means that I have to go out of here before I go back to the beginning of the loop. I have to increment index and then I have to go to line 4. So let's see what we are doing. We set that start with the first character, then we set the Boolean variable found to be false. This Boolean variable tells us if we found X or not in the string. Now I'm going to check if the index is less than or equal to str. Then I'm going to say, is the character at the index equal to X? If it is, then I'm going to set the Boolean variable found to be true. This means that I found an X. Now I'm going to check the next character. If the next character is X, this means that I have a situation like this one, 2X right after each other. I have to return true. So I say return true. And this is the end if for this one. If this is not true, okay, then this end if belongs to this one, so there is nothing special about this one. Then I'm going to increment index to go to the next character, and now when we get out of the loop, the first thing I'm going to check is the following. We say if found is true, then we know that we have seen an X inside the string, and we couldn't find an X right after it. Then we are going to return false. Otherwise, we are going to return true, because this means that I have gone through the whole string and I couldn't find any X. So this means that this is the case of ABC here. So I'm going to return true, and I'm going to end it with end if, and then end of the algorithm. So this is the whole algorithm that we came up with. Now we have to start testing it. So to test it, I'm going to go back here and I'm going to start the testing. We know that, let's try, a case like this one. This means that str is equal to axxbb. So I'm going to write str is equal to axxb. Then the second line says index is 1, found is false. So I'm going to say index is equal to 1, found is equal to false. Now the next line says is index less than or equal to length of str. Length of str is 2, 4, 5. Index is 1, which is true. Now is asking the character of str at index position. Index is 1. So this means the first character is A. Now it's saying is the first, if meaning is this character A equal to X? The answer is no. So it's going to finish this end, which is this end if here. Then it's going to increment index by 1. So index becomes 2. And then it says here, go back to 4. So it go back here. Now it's going to check index. Index is 2 now. Is 2 less than or equal to the length? Length is 5. Yes, it is. Then it's going to check the character, the second character of str. The second character of str is X. Now it's saying, is this character is equal to X? Yes. Then it's going to say found is equal to true. So found is equal to true. And then it's going to say, is the next character, index is 2, so 2 plus 1 is 3. So meaning character 3 is X. Is the next character equal to X, which is true? Then it's going to return true, which is true as it's shown.